All right, my friends, today is July the 29th. It is Monday, a couple hours into the New York session. Let's do the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. So the first thing that we need to address is that on Monday we have the FOMC. That's going to play a pretty important role in how I approach my intraday trading this week. More on that later in the video. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the Bitcoin macro, Bitcoin higher time frame outlook, right? So where we're at, right? We've been patiently waiting for, an eternity. This is definitely one of the larger ranges that I've had to wait for Bitcoin to, kind of play out through. But here we are, right? We're basically at the end of the summertime chop thesis now. I do believe that we are probably going to be breaking out from this range upwards in the next, anywhere from maybe a week at the shortest to maybe 2 months at the longest, right? Realistically, I'm leaning much more on the shorter side of that. For a long time, my thesis has been that we should be fully bullish by October. So it just is really a matter of August or September, are we going to heat up? In which one of those months are we going to heat up in, right? So I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot predict when the breakout is going to come, but being pre-positioned for the breakout once the current breakout longers get stopped out and licked is definitely going to be plus EV from how I'm looking at things, but we'll cover that in more detail later on. So if you're interested in gaining access to the spaghetti template and learning how to properly utilize it, you should consider joining the Paragon group. Basically, the main thing that we're looking at right now, right, 60K is macro support. We don't want to see Bitcoin lose 60K again. If we lose 60K, we're in deep shit. Right now, the final resistance line is the previous all-time high or local range high, whatever you want to call it. Local range high is probably like 70K, and previous all-time high is like, 69.4, give or take. So right now, right, we're just patiently waiting for this significant resistance at 69K to get reclaimed, and then we're off to the races. But there's definitely some nuance that needs to get woven in on medium time frame, so be on the lookout for that. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned on higher time frame, right, I think that the time for the breakout is upon us, and if you're not already locked in, you better get fucking locked in right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Get locked in. Q4 is very, very soon. I think that most likely a lot of the flows are going to front run Q4, so the end of Q3, like I've been saying for 6-7 months now almost. Actually, that's not true. I think I probably started saying it officially in early April, but that's still a long time. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on. All right, as far as medium time frame goes, this is the composite we've been working with. The value has shifted up, right? We've had this development over the past couple of weeks. So value has shifted upwards. That's definitely a bullish sign, right? While we're waiting for this, breakout to potentially come, what we really want to see on medium time frame is you want to see the slow grind up and basically triangle formation into this, right? We want to see compression into the range high, and that's going to increase the likelihood of us breaking out. So as far as I'm concerned, on medium time frame, a few different things I want to address. First and foremost, right, we already addressed the composite. Next thing is going to be around how I'm going to be trading the FOMC, right? So going to follow this classic schematic. I'm kind of bearish on medium time frame right now anyway, so it lines up really well. I believe that we're probably going to continue to trade down as we kind of unwind these breakout longers and we transition into the hedging and de-risking period for the FOMC. We should expect the script to play out the same way every time. Mind you, you want to be a little bit aware that the unwinds on these events have been coming earlier and earlier, so you don't want to try to be super late to unwind play. But basically, I'm not going to sit here and try to call where the bottom is going to be. At some point, the selling is going to wane, and it'll probably lose, do momentum loss structure, and then start to round back up. The unwinds will come through from people closing out their hedges and aping back into risk positions, and then we leave the range. So I kind of think that, there is an actual argument for us breaking out of the range this week, that it's valid. I don't have a crystal ball or anything, so it's not like I actually know how it's going to play out, but I'm probably going to take that bet. It seems reasonable to me, and I've been waiting a really long time for all this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and then I'll, reassess and find the next trade. So that's pretty much it, right? Two more things I want to mention, which we're going to go on this on detail, but the insane open interest rise on this attempt at a breakout is honestly pretty bearish, and that's obviously the reason why we're rejecting right now. The ask absorption plus the open interest rise, it's not a good look on medium time frame. And then the sentiment shift, right? That's another thing I want to talk about. Just continuously driving home the lessons around how sentiment shifts when we're at the range highs and range lows, right? I mean, there was so many, just a couple weeks ago when we were over here, everybody was writing threads about how it was over and the Germans are going to sell us to zero and this and that's going to happen and the ETF flows sucked and blah, 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 blah. And now we're up here and everybody's talking about how we're going, you know, we're breaking out, blah, blah, blah. It's really useful for you guys to try to take a step back and just like watch other people in these moments and just literally fucking do the exact opposite of what they're doing. It's that simple. All right, so that's it for medium time frame, right? TLDR is, I think, you know, we're probably going to break out on higher time frame soon, but I think that we'll probably trade lower, let these breakout longers get rinsed. Maybe we trade all the way down to like 64K, 62K at like the lowest. I would much prefer us not to trade down that low because us inability to trade down low is actually like what we're looking for, right? We want to see that demand is chasing upwards and forming that kind of triangle like we just doodled, compressing into the range highs for us to actually have that chance to really break out definitively. So that's pretty much it, right? Definitely pay close attention to the FOMC trade this week. That's going to be really important. A little bit of altcoin talk. So sadly, the majority of altcoins still look like absolute dog shit. The few that do look good, though, we're going to run through some of them, right? So out of the big boys, Solana, GigaChad coin. Interesting to see. I didn't even pay attention to this. Interesting to see that ETH is actually holding up really well right now. I didn't even notice that this morning before I started this recording, but I still obviously favor Solana bigly over ETH or anything, but Solana looks like a GigaChad coin. Any shallow dips on Solana, I think, should be bought back. You know, we talked about some of these kind of bigger pullbacks in the past. I don't think that we're really going to have any substantial pullbacks on Solana like this, right? It does make sense to be paying close attention to Solana and Solana ecosystem coins because Solana ecosystem coins are definitely starting to heat up right now. And if Solana is going to do well, the ecosystem coins will obviously get carried upwards from that. So TLDR, we like Solana, right? Okay, so that's pretty much it for the rundown today. So TLDR on everything. Where are we at right now, right? We're basically at the precipice where I think that once we're done liquidating these breakout longers that we're going to probably see momentum return to the market and trade upwards, right? You want to be very careful about what coins you're picking if we do that, right? If you have to emphasize buying things that are already strong, please don't try to be the person that buys the thing that is lagging saying, oh, this thing is going to follow. Don't do that. I really think that you're going to regret that. So focus on what's strong and have your classic, you know, don't be the guy that says, oh, well, Bitcoin can only 2x, so there's no reason for me to ever be long Bitcoin. Like, I still think it's worth trading the majors, right? The huge chunk of my P&L over my career has come from trading these majors. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me this week. Good luck out there. I will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.